Jessica, and tonight, see what cool and wacky gadgets the Giz Wiz will uncover this time. Plus, 3 tips in a row to make you smart fast. It's Tip-o-rama time. And we get down to the bottom of the newspaper ads in The Real Deal. Live from Tech TV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers! Woo!
Hello and welcome to a very special audio edition of the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
Picture yourself, a man without music, a man on the edge, a man who thinks he's gone back in time.
You mean that music?
That music.
Oh.
It's like Cartman doing it. Welcome to the Screensavers, a place where you get your daily dose of cool tech stuff and geek freak stuff. And hey, this is cool. This is cool. That was a familiar face doing the show up in there. Is that Jessica Corbin I see?
Oh, where?
Where? There she is! Yay! Jessie's
Hi,
back.
guys. Yeah.
You're going to be filling in for Megan Maroney while she's on maternity leave?
Right, while she's resting her feet.
Yeah.
I'm going to be filling in.
Well, that may be a while. Have you seen her feet lately?
No, but I've heard. And Meg, I love you. I love you, girl. I'm actually sitting in her chair, getting all comfortable.
That's great. Well, you know what happened to the last person who sat in that chair?
I don't. I've been gone.
She's home with a baby.
Oh.
So be careful. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not ready for that, Leo.
No, it's so good to have you back.
It's really good to be
Welcome,
back.
poor Patrick. He's turning red.
Like la 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 la.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. So we can count on you for some fun and
yeah, I'm going to be actually in the chat room, so you guys come and talk to me. So
Big Red.
I'm just going to be facilitating what you guys got going on your end with these 2 dashing fellows right here.
Cool.
Who are the dashing fellows?
I don't know. No one's called us dashing in a long time. Isn't it nice to have her back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Jessie. So great to have you. Welcome back. And your brother's okay, by the way? She's doing good?
Golden.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Golden.
And for those who don't know, that's why we lost Jessica. A year and a half ago, she went back to take care of her brother who had a bad fall, but he's recovering well. And
very well.
Thanks to prayer and your support and love.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good to have you back.
It's good to be here.
Good. Let's start off by taking a look at some of the tech-related stories handpicked by Patrick Norton.
From your list.
From my list.
Oh, man.
Well, that's a good teamwork.
Yeah.
I send a list every morning. I get up bright and early, and I send a list. I say, these are the big stories of the day.
And then hopefully nothing changes between then and 4 o'clock.
Well, there were some extra stories we've come up with, but let's start off with this one.
PCWorld.com has some news that's going to disappoint frequent flyers in the audience. On Friday, the UK's Civil Aviation Authority, tough word to say fast, advised that airlines continue to prohibit the use of cell phones on aircraft.
Oh, no.
They did a study and a series of tests exposing, and I quote, a set of aircraft avionics systems to simulated telephone calls revealed various adverse effects on the equipment's performance. For the non-piloting types like me, that means the radios and the flight instruments could get a tad wiggy if you put a cell phone too close to them.
Interesting. So this proves conclusively cell phones are bad.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently the performance was slightly better than the original certification criteria for interference susceptibility. That means they didn't quite wipe everything out, right?
It worked.
Right, it worked.
But why take a chance?
But the margin was so slim they didn't feel it would protect from worst case conditions like,
like everybody getting on the phone at once they were almost there.
Particularly bad or egregiously, foul
cell phone. Right.
Yeah.
Like mine?
The example.
Wow. Interesting. So there is finally proof positive the cell phones are bad for avionics. Who knew? Well, this morning, Apple made a big announcement. Steve Jobs very happy. He said that in the first week of the Apple Music Store, which started 1 week ago today, they sold over 1 million songs, making them the largest online music retailer of all in one fell swoop.
Now, which is the digital file, they're not like
digital. No, not like Amazon.
CDs, but
digital music seller. Yes, absolutely. A very important distinction because actually a lot of albums are sold. According to SoundStream, Patrick did some research. 190 million albums have been sold this year. That means that the record industry sells about 100 million songs a week, compared to Apple's 1 million songs. But that's pretty good to have 1% of all record sales in 1 week.
It's interesting, or be interesting to find out maybe the record number of sales get boosted towards Christmas. It'll be interesting to find out.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see if Apple can sustain this
Well,
torrid
they're
pace.
working on it. They've got some interesting tricks. For example, if you want to buy certain songs, say something popular like Hotel California, you can't do it as a single. You got to buy the whole album.
You know, I've noticed that, and there's a lot of albums like that where you
The
can't
Clash,
even.
actually, remember the Clash albums we were looking at where I
Yes.
thought they hadn't put some songs up there? I bet.
They're not all on there.
If they took the good songs out, so you got to buy the whole album.
And I don't know, and we should ask Apple, but I suspect some of this may have to do with publishing rights and whether those publishers are signatory to the deal with Apple. They may not be, so they may not have the rights to those songs. You know, sometimes
Actually,
records.
in the case I was citing, I'm pretty sure they have
They have the
rights.
rights.
They just aren't selling it as a
I'll
single.
tell you, I am one of those people. I have bought now 4 or 5 albums, many individual singles. I've gone crazy with this thing. I love this thing. By the way, if you there was a little flaw, and I guess probably because of all the attention brought to the Apple Store, there was a little flaw. A guy found out that if you went to the page where you forgot your password and viewed the source code, the HTML source, you could actually find a hash you could enter in and then change the password of any Apple account and order stuff for yourself. You couldn't get the credit card, but you could order stuff for yourself. Apple fixed that. That was discovered on Wednesday. They fixed it on Friday. And Apple says the vulnerability was never exploited, so don't worry. Although iTunes customers that might want to buy Hotel California without having to pick up Life in the Fast Lane or The Victim of Love, they may be the victims here.
Of exploitation.
Yes, but not credit card exploitation.
Not credit card exploitation. Finally, in news we've all been waiting for, Dow Jones, amongst other online resources, report that broadband prices have been slashed.
What?
Well, at least Verizon has cut the prices of its DSL service to $35 a month from $50 a month.
Whoa, that's a big cut.
Sure. Well, typical prices of other DSL providers such as SBC Yahoo are $40 per month and as low as $35 for new customers signing on to a 12-month agreement. Cable broadband typically costs $40 to $50 per month, and if you don't want cable TV, there's often an additional monthly fee. That said,
35 bucks a month, I think, is pretty good for Verizon.
yeah, and it's odd. This was reported at a ton of financial sites that cover Wall Street.
Because it's a big news story
Nearly
financially.
no tech sites. The Wall Street types suggested this triggered a drop in Verizon's stock price on Friday, which could lead to price battles for broadband.
Well, we reported it. We're a tech site.
Yeah.
And we're telling the story, ladies and gentlemen.
And you know what? Stock price be damned. Lower those prices.
Yes, we want cheap broadband. Hey, let's say hi to Seth on the line from West Babylon, New York. Is it Seth or Seth?
It's Seth.
Seth.
Yeah.
Hi, Seth. Welcome.
Hi, Leo. Hey, Pat. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. What can we do for you?
Yeah, I was wondering. I got a Linksys BEFW11S4. It's a wireless
That's the-
access point.
Yes.
And we got actually a wireless network set up in our house. And I noticed like sometimes the signal goes really low, or like it actually dies out. So I was wondering, is there any way, like a cheap, affordable way to like increase the signal strength?
First, number one is think about where it's located, and if
Placement
it's
is really
placement
critical.
is crucial. Moving it sometimes, even how it has the dual antennas that you can wipe in any direction.
Okay.
Okay, if we were like a big consulting firm, we would say what you need to do, young man, is a site survey. And basically, you take a notebook, put something on it.
Like Stumbler, Net Stumbler.
Yeah.
That can monitor the signal.
And basically walk around to pick 4 or 5 spots in your house where you have trouble. Walk around, see what kind of signal strength you get, move the antenna or antennas, walk around to those points, see if you make it better or worse, or try moving it to a different room. If you have it all the way at one end of the house, and you can't compute at that end of the house, you can't get on the network, try moving the antenna to the middle of the house.
That's that. I had the same problem, but not in my house, outside. I'm trying to get the signal out to the barn, and Patrick's consulting me. We're going to actually do this next month on the show. I'm going to do a little BarnNet on signal boosters.
Right.
So this is something that I'll take my airport, I'll drill a hole in it, plug this in, and Pat found a site where I can put a mast up and a directional antenna and beam it out to the barn. Now, what is that site that you recommended? Because that was a great site.
I'll have to look
NoCat.net.
NoCat.net has links to some really good sites.
Wonderful
that sell antennas and stuff. NoCat.net is basically dedicated to community wireless and working with.
But the same
wireless
issues that
technology.
Seth's dealing with.
Yeah.
Now, if you had an airport, the new Airport Extreme, Dr. Bott makes some extenders. There are extenders out there.
If you have if the antennas don't remove, you could consider, hacking the box open and attaching an external antenna to it.
I think they do on that.
Yeah, actually, that's what I was going to ask you guys. How come the antennas are removable? Because I tried taking it out, and I tried
Uh-huh.
putting one in the center of the house possibly, and it's just it really didn't help.
It depends on what kind of antenna you're using and what kind of cable. The frequencies that Wi-Fi run at, Seth. If you use like regular coax, like you would use for cable TV, 10 feet of that coax will actually lose all of your signal. You actually have to use some more high-end wire like MLMR 400 or a very short run of a pigtail between
Big
your
fat cable.
Yeah, the LMR 400 it sells for about $1 a foot. But the flip side of that is it won't lose your signal.
Because what happens, it attenuates as it goes down the smaller
Yeah.
thing. You need a big one that'll preserve the signal.
Yeah, you need a fairly high-end piece of cable.
And that's because it's high frequency.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It basically it gets absorbed
Right.
or
Right.
dissipated, or whatever you want to call it.
So there are some tips. This is something we're going to do a lot more of in future. We got it. This is a great subject, and more people are asking about this. We'll do the barn thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a lot of research, but NoCat.net I think is a great resource.
Great resource. And let me make sure it's clear. Seth, first of all, try moving it around to another location. Sometimes electrical wires or plumbing can interfere with it. Two, consider moving it to another location. One, another location. Two, play with your antennas to see if you increase the signal anywhere in the house. And three, consider using an external antenna. Booster.
Thank you for the call. We appreciate it, Seth. Coming up a little later on, get smart fast. We've got three tips in our Tip-o-rama time. And have you ever dropped something into boiling water? But what are you going to reach in and get it? No, learn from Patrick's errors. Stay tuned and find out how the GizWiz can help you when the Screensavers continues.
Not Alfred E. Newman.
That is the worst picture I've ever seen. Welcome back to the Screensavers. He calls himself the GizWiz. He's also a writer for Mad Magazine. In fact, I love this piece in the latest Mad Magazine on the spam.
In the June
the next
issue,
one in the
which is
spam
coming
of the
out.
month. He normally joins us via satellite, but today it's going to get crazy because he's here in the studio. Dick DeBartolo.
Hey, it's great to see you,
It's
buddy.
so great to see you.
Well,
You're shorter in person. Oh, there we go. All right,
okay,
much
thank
better.
you. You're wearing heels.
I know.
Good time.
Well, it's the
Okay.
lifts. I got the Regis lifts on. Yeah. So you were at the Gourmet show
The
this
Gourmet
past
show.
week.
We met a year ago, because I came out a year ago for the Gourmet show.
This is your anniversary.
This is my anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I said, could I come by and see the studio? I said, come by and be on the show.
That's great.
Been on every month ever since.
Well, that's because we love you, Dick.
All right.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play.
We're going to play Guess the Gourmet Gadget.
Guess the Gourmet Gadget.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, there's no... I guess that's it. Okay, bye. Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
There's
We
more.
want it.
There's
Okay.
more. Okay, it's a whisk.
That's a whisk.
But what is different about this whisk?
Well, I see these little things, these little indentations on the side.
You
What are those
very
for?
clever. It's so that when you put it in the drawer,
Oh, it's a folding whisk.
and when you pull it out, it doesn't pull out 18
I
other
love
of
that.
blind. Kuhn Recon.
I
It's
love
called
that.
Easy Store.
Easy Store whisk.
Okay, definitely, you know what that is, probably.
Ice cube tray.
But why?
But why does it only have? It doesn't have an indent.
Yeah, it is so clever.
It's going to make ice cubes that will fit inside a soda bottle.
He's right.
Am I right?
Inside,
You could draw.
the ice cube. The
Oh my
ice
God, I
is just
got it.
big enough.
Now we have to tell you, nobody's told us this ahead of time.
You pick out 2 or 3 of those,
Yes.
drop it in your ice before you go jogging,
What
or
a
drop
good
it
idea.
in your water.
You know why I know that? Because I'm always trying to do that. And I'm hammering the ice cubes in the water.
There you go,
That's
pal.
a clever idea.
Clever
I'm
idea,
getting one of
and that's
those.
called icy something. Okay.
Icy stick.
Okay, icy
$10
stick.
from
Oh, boy.
ProgressiveLentil.com.
Wow.
No,
All right.
ProgressiveInternational.com. Sorry.
This is
Magnifying glass? No.
Yeah.
It's a spaghetti sizer.
No.
It's a.
Da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da.
Wait a minute. I'm thinking here.
Okay.
It's a sausage sizer. No, what is it?
What a lucky man you are. Okay.
Just right. What is it?
It is
A melon.
Yes. Okay.
Scooper.
There you go.
For getting the seeds
To
out of
get
melon.
well, that gets the seeds out, and then you use the big one to get
the melon out.
Okay.
I should have known it was a melon enhancer.
All right, melon.
All right. Okay.
This guy. Now we're showing you the gadget.
Okay, this is the gadget.
Ta-da.
It looks like a pizza kind of. Can I play with it?
Sure.
Am I allowed?
Absolutely.
All right, not on public television. All
Yeah.
right, what is this is going to cut something. It makes, I don't know, it's a
it's fortunate.
a beaker.
It's fortunately that you picked it up upside down because
Oh, of
it's the
course.
grapefruiter. What you do is you go
Wow,
around the
look at
grapefruit
that.
like that.
That's a great-
and it loosens all the sections.
Ron
There you go.
Popeil is spinning
I'll be
in his
at
grave.
Denny's right after this show.
That's great. There are a lot of things like this in the Gourmet show.
The Gourmet show, they had one like high-tech thing. Remember Icebox, the appliance that
Yes.
went in your kitchen?
Yes.
Right. Well, they've teamed up with Westinghouse, and in the fall...
It's a computer for your kitchen.
Exactly. But in the fall, it'll network your appliances through the house. So you set your alarm clock for 7 o'clock. It tells the coffee pot to
Wow.
make coffee at 6:45.
That's very cool.
So that's the most high-tech. Everything else was kind of fun, neat new things.
Okay, I won't look.
Like, no, this
Okay.
one you can look.
I can look at
This
this.
is very clever.
Wow, another. It looks like another cutter of some kind.
Okay. Well, I'll give you, yeah.
Well, should I unlock it here?
Yes. It's very clever.
Oh yeah, I remember this from my birth.
No, this is sold to all nationalities and religions.
All nationalities.
Right.
What the heck?
It's very clever. It's called toss and chop. All you do is throw all your vegetables into a bowl,
And you just do that.
go
And
around
it'll
the
chop
bowl, and you make instant salad.
Does it work well?
With one utensil.
It's salad.
I'm not putting. Okay.
It's a salad shooter. All right, that's cool. Toss and chop.
Okay, this guy has a whole line of appliances or little gadgets
Very
called
clever
nestlings.
looking. They're beautiful.
What do you think that guy is? Now you can turn that
Can I-
over.
can I?
Yeah.
Oh wow, it looks like a little egg.
They're all about $10. The folding ice cream scoop.
Oh my goodness, that's a clever idea. Look at that.
And another clever idea. You know what this is, but you.
then it just folds right
What's
up.
different about this?
It's a cheese grater, sure.
But it's a two-way cheese grater. It grates up and down.
no
and
wasted
also, look at this.
movement.
It is. This,
Yes.
You bring the cheese up to it. so
Very
it's-
efficient.
He calls it the safe cheese
And the
grater.
cheese goes in here instead of all over the house.
You know what? You are so.
This is
you know what?
brilliant.
Beforehand, they said, work with him, Dick. He's not too smart. But
Wow, I
That's
like
neat.
these, and he has a
Yeah.
whole line of those.
A whole line of it called
Nesters.
nestlings.
Nestlings.
right? Okay, this is very clever also.
What is this?
This is also neat because
Okay.
you reach into the kitchen drawer and you get a shakaroonie. You're doing it right.
You go like
There you
Ooh.
The
It's a
retractable pizza cutter called
oh,
VersaCut.
Look at that.
Okay, I'm
and
gonna
if you-
swap
and
places
before you
with
put
you.
it in the drawer, you just fold it up. That's actually
Back
really
in.
good. And you know the handle is good on that.
Very ergonomic.
Very ergonomic.
Is that neat?
That's good.
Okay, now this guy. Remember we dropped the Alfred E. pin is still in there.
There's an Alfred E. pin.
This
It's
is-
boiling hot. How are we going to get it out?
This is the
Oh,
Orca
thank goodness you brought your
glove.
rubber mitt.
Yeah, I did. Now this goes. You can go up to 500 degrees. And
no.
I'm getting out my. Whoop,
There's the
There
there's
goes
the
my
pin.
pin.
Hey, Kevin, pick that up, would you?
Oh, I tried the back end. Could you get it for me? Right.
Wow. So this doesn't burn?
No.
Not at all.
Up to 500
Wow.
degrees, and they've introduced some trivets now of this. It's
This is
silicone.
some sort of silicone.
It's silicone.
Wow.
And then they make this little guy for picking up pot handles or stuff out of the oven.
So this is
or you could use it as a little hi, Leo. Oh, where aren't
It's a puppet show.
We're two adults acting like jerks on TV. Okay.
you laugh. I think that's the next show on Tech TV.
Can we be on it?
Ice. This is from. What is this from? Is Norm Thumb?
ISA North America. It's
ISA
about
North America.
$20, and it's called
Very
the
cool.
Okra.
You know, I've started to see a lot of silicone like trivets and stuff. That's
Yes.
the new
the
material.
new thing, and they're now making pans out of it so you can pop biscuit.
Oh,
You
what
can
a great
actually
idea.
bake in the oven. And if you go to my website, we have another new version of Guess the Gadget, and they can win that
What
poster.
fun! This is the Mads. This next month's Mads Spam of the Month. Go to gizwizbiz.com and you can win.
and
This is
enter
very
the contest for Guess the
funny.
Gadget.
I love this. This is the Magic Meat Enhancer, before and after, and it says, and I love this. To stop receiving these solicitations, merely reply and type "no more" in the subject line. We'll then erase your name from our database and send it to a different company to add to their database. That's how
the way
spam-
they work.
That's,
That's
how
the
spam
way
works.
they work.
All right, will you autograph
Okay,
these
buddy,
for,
I
for
will.
your winners?
I will. And you're coming.
Dick.
We're going boating next
We're
month.
going to go. We're
Okay.
going boating next month. Okay, I'll bring my mitt.
Yeah.
Stay put. 3 geeks, 3 tips. It's Tip-o-rama coming up. But after the break, our next caller, Todd, wants to title all his CDs in his car.
Will you tell him how to do that?
I will. Okay. But first, get web savvy with Jessica's tip. Oh my.
Hey, you guys, check out my new gadget here. It's a bun warmer.
Oh.
Remember this song from the Windows setup? Kind of soothing, isn't it? Well, if you want it more accessible, follow this string right here. Way down, right-click on this file title and click on Add to Playlist. Ooh. Woo. TSS will be right back.
Thank you. Don't forget to register this week's Screensavers LAN party powered by NVIDIA. Once again, will be Urban Terror Quake 3. We think we've figured out some ways to make this really even more fun. It's kind of like Counter-Strike. We had, I think, too many people in the game last time.
Personally, I think anything that makes Brentano whine and cry because he's getting murdered left and right is okay by us.
Grab your machine gun, your Kevlar armor, your pictures, your deck of cards with Joshua's picture on them, and get to the street battle. You must own a full version of Quake 3 and download a 200 megabyte mod if you don't already have it. So do get going to our website at thescreensavers.com. Click Join the LAN Party to register and for the download mod that you will need. We'll see you Thursday. Screensavers LAN Party powered by NVIDIA.
Todd joins us on the phone from Lawton, Oklahoma. How you doing, Todd?
Hello.
Hey, Todd.
Hey.
What can we do for you today, sir?
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have an iMac, and I have my car stereo will play will show the track names of a CD.
Oh, that's cool.
The CD text option?
Yeah.
Okay.
iTunes and I have Roxio Toast. They won't burn the track or the
text
CD
info.
track names to the CD.
Yeah, I'm sure iTunes won't because that's kind of a.
There's wow, we finally have a reason to use the USB mouthpad.
Does it work?
Yeah, check it out. It's really funny. If you look at it, right, and this is Nero, what I'm showing you right here. CD text burns the text information for the audio files into the front of the disk, essentially. And if I go to properties here, you can click in and you can enter the information. There's two things. One, you have to have software that'll cover it. So this is the title.
Does it use the tags, the ID3 tags?
No, it doesn't use the ID3 tags. You actually have to enter it, at least in Nero, you have to enter it in manually in most of them I've seen. You also, that's not enough though, you also have to have a compatible, burner. So there's two different places. The question is there any
Well, I've just been looking that up.
Mac software?
I've just been looking that up. You say you use Toast?
Yeah, I use Toast Titanium.
What version, Titanium?
Yeah.
Then you get the update because Toast 5.2 Titanium, they say they have added, see, this is, you're right, it wasn't in part of it, but they say they've added CD text capability.
Okay.
So if you haven't updated it, I think get the update. I'm just looking, it says in the 5.2 update, CD text support and video CD enhancements. So you just got to get the 5.2 version.
Yeah, I've been trying to do it forever, and I got iTunes 4, and I thought that would do it, but...
Yeah, iTunes all uses the same burning capabilities that's basically built into the Macintosh, which are fairly limited.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is, Todd, this is still, the ideas for CD text has been kicking around since the late 90s, probably since 97, 98, but it's still not something that's hugely supported, so you're going to have to work a little harder to find this one.
But if you have Toast Titanium, the upgrade is to 5.2 is free, and that will give you that support.
Okay, Todd?
Okay, Todd?
Right, thank you.
Thanks. And on Windows, Nero does it?
Nero does it.
Easy CD Creator does it?
I believe so, but I haven't seen it myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a bunch of applications on the Windows side that do it. But it's cool, though. You finally get your audio CDs to give you the track information on your CD player.
It does require a burner that will support it, and, of course, a player that will play back and support it. And
so other than that.
Yeah, other than that, it's
anybody
great.
can. Don't go anywhere, you'll miss Leo, Kevin, and Sarah doing a hat trick, back-to-back, wicked cool Tip-o-rama, coming up right after this break.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Leo Laporte. Coming up in this half hour, don't get cheated. We're going to help you find the best deals in the Sunday paper tech ads. Plus, Richard's on the line, wants to build a home network. We're going to give him some advice. He has some interesting questions about firewalling his network. But right now, it's time for Tip-o-rama. No talk, just the tips. No echo either. Here's the first tip, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that they announced. A company called BigFix.com announced their BigFix software at Demo, which is a big computer conference where they show the latest and greatest stuff. And this, I think, is a very exciting technology that may prove to be the holy grail for keeping your computer safe and sound. You've used Windows Update. BigFix is a free program that you install on your system. Let me open the BigFix interface. You install on your system, and it automatically checks your system for bugs, problems, updated drivers, Windows security fixes, and more. And the advantage of this is it has this new Fixlet technology, which means any company can write a little Fixlet that will automatically update your system. So it's, in effect, they've created a universal Windows update system that any company that wants to can participate in. Now, right now, Microsoft stuff is in there, virus updates are in there, and I'm hoping other companies will come along and support this Fixlet system. The Big Fix program is free for you to download as a consumer. You run it in, it sits in your system tray. Whenever there's an update, the Big Fix blink icon will blink and let you know there's an update. For instance, here's one. We've got unsafe functions. This is the only one on this machine. We've kept it pretty up to date, but I didn't know about this one in the Office web components. So I can download and install the patch just as I would with Windows Update. I can learn more about it from Microsoft. So let me update that patch right now. The Big Fix Fixlet is running and automatically downloading and installing the patch. I like this idea. Its success will depend on other companies coming along and supporting Fixlets. They pay for the Fixlet technology, so you don't have to. Check it out at bigfix.com. Even now, in its infancy, it's very useful because it does give you all the Windows updates and virus alerts. And now, here's Kevin Rose with a dark tip. Kevin?
Thank you, Leo. It's time for a dark tip. I have a little confession, though. I like to crack passwords. I've cracked Dan's bank account password, Leo's website's password, and Yoshi's, let's just say, personal sites. But now it's time to show you how to keep your passwords nice and safe. This is called Personal Vault. Let's take a look at it here. If we launch the application, the first thing that it does is come up with a prompt here to put in our password. And what this is going to do, think of it like the combination to your safe. And we're going to type in our password here, and once we do that, it unlocks all of our passwords that we have. We have passwords for Amazon.com and eBay, and I'm going to go ahead and add another password here. We're going to go add account, type in the account name, we'll go techtv.com, username, put my username in there. And then when it comes to the password, something really nice about this is that it generates your passwords for you. So you can just click the button here, and it'll make all nice kinds of encrypted passwords there for you. Put in a hyperlink to it, so we'll say www.techtv.com, and then click OK. Once we click OK, it's been added to the list, and now you can see here we can just launch the website from here, and then we can click this little button here to the right. See this little button? What that's going to do is it's going to copy the password to the clipboard, so that all we have to do is hit Control-V anywhere that we are inside of Windows. If we click, say we're in a browser window, hit Control-V, and it's going to paste our password over and over again. So this is really nice because it's going to store all of your different passwords for you. You can store up to a couple hundred passwords, I believe it supports, and it encrypts all of them for you. So Personal Vault's shareware, but you can download a free trial version, and it never expires, but it's only $15 if you decide to buy it. You can get a direct download link and a bunch of safe password tips that I have, and also a link to another free open source program that I have in my article at thescreensavers.com. Now you can email me if you want more of your dark side tips, downloads, or your passwords to kevin@techtv.com. Now it's time for my little buttercup love. Sarah?
I thought that was me.
Oh, sorry, Leo.
Man.
Apologize.
I didn't hear anything. I think it is you, Leo.
I think he's talking about me.
All right. This is a program that I really love. It's called Convert, or Convert, whatever you want to say. And it will basically convert any unit of measurement to any other unit of measurement. Check it out. All right. Basically, we have our inputs and we have our outputs. Maybe we can, yeah, that's a little bit closer there. So I inputted 8 cups. Well, if I click gallons, it's half a gallon. 8 cups is half a gallon. But did you know that in the UK, it is 0.416339 gallons? Kind of interesting. Now, it gets a little bit even weirder. Like, for example, I don't really know what pounds Troy is. But I'm just going to say 10 of those and say, how many milligrams in pounds Troy? That's 3,732,417. It might not seem like something you need, but you never know, right? And then let's go to flow. Like, for example, we've got a lot of UK stuff, but let's say gallons per day. Let's go 100 gallons per day. Well, let's convert that into feet per second. So it's a very strange number that you get down at the bottom. Basically, this is all a little bit crazy, but if you really needed to know something like, you know, how you forget the metric system stuff, you know, what's a cup versus, or what's a foot versus a meter, or a cup versus a liter, or stuff like that. This is the thing to do. It's called Convert, or Convert. It's free. It's at thescreensavers.com in the show notes. And if you have any other downloads, you can always email me at sarah@techtv.com. I'm all done. Leo, back to you.
That's excellent. Well done. What did he call you? Is Love Bud? Buttercup? My little
Buttercup
muffin?
Love Muffin.
You know what I like about the Tip-o-rama? Each of us has our unique kind of point of view, and so each of the tips reflects our own personality. I love that. Well, that's today's Tip-o-rama, ladies and gentlemen. Join us next time for another Tip-o-rama. Coming up. We'll help our next caller, Richard, with his home network and his web server. Whew, I don't know where that echo is coming from. But next, find out why knowing about this can save you cash. We'll look at some ads from the Sunday papers in The Real Deal next. Welcome back to the Screensavers. Time for The Real Deal.
It's not Cinco de Mayo time?
It is. Well, we can say Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. This is not Mexican Independence Day.
No.
It celebrates a battle or something.
Very big battle.
Yes, but happy Cinco de Mayo. That's my message to you today.
That said.
Now,
Real deal.
The Real Deal.
First one we pulled out, MS Office XP for students and teachers, $129.90. You got to have a student ID or proof that you're a teacher. We should point out student discounts on software are all over the place. You should call up if you're looking for a nice piece of software. You're a college student, you're a high school student, you're a teacher, you're a professor. Call up a company and see if they offer a student discount. You might be able to get it at a significantly reduced rate.
This is like less than half, right? I mean,
yeah,
this is a really good
super
price.
cheap,
Yeah.
and other products are available.
The theory being that you'll
discount.
use this as a student, and then when you grow up and have some real money,
let it go. You'll buy the products
never stop.
over and over.
That's right.
Second up, whoop, we pulled the wrong one up here.
Next.
Or did we pull the right? It's so hard to see these ads. They look so strange.
Sony and Panasonic home audio.
It's not the little tiny Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Mood Super Audio CD in the lower right corner.
$12.99.
But we've shown these before. About $350 used to be the entry point for a home theater, a surround sound system.
Is this
did
an
Dolby
HTIB?
home theater in a box? We're actually planning on. We're pouncing on. Actually, I bet. Well, it's Dan's face light up. Hey, Dan. Want to do a roundup of home theaters in a box?
Ooh, Fufu like. Fufu say yes. Fufu like home theater in a box.
And we've seen some good ones from Sony and Panasonic in that price range, $350.
Now, what do you get?
You get basically all the 5 speakers you need, plus a subwoofer, plus a box that includes the receiver, the DVD player, the decoder.
So that's the key here. This isn't just your average DVD player. This has a power for the speakers.
Remember how they have like stereo receivers that has all the stuff in one box?
It's a receiver.
Yeah, well, this is a receiver only with all this round speakers.
I know one thing that's important is to look at the total wattage, or at least the wattage per speaker, because you need a lot of wattage on this guy.
Well, it depends on whether it's peak wattage or RMS wattage, which is the average wattage.
They'll say 150 total watts, but you got 5 speakers on here. That is not significant.
We found, in this price range, $350, we found, especially from Panasonic, Sony, they have some pretty good deals that have enough power.
Watts,
Look, the smaller the room you're in, you don't need 50 watts, 100 watts, 200 watts per channel if you're in an 18 by 18 foot room.
Yeah.
You can use it. You won't be able to hear for 3 days.
Well, it's always good to have extra wattage so you have some headroom and
good.
so forth.
The reason we showed you this one, though, is because we started seeing these showing up recently.
Dude.
The classic surround sound system. You know, which is another home theater in a box for $130.
Now, what's the difference?
What's the difference? Well, it's by Classic.
It's got to be good.
Exactly.
It's a classic. Probably, and it doesn't say the wattage, but probably you're going to have considerably less wattage.
But we should also point out, look, surround sound sounds really cool. It really opens up some soundtracks. Case in point, one of my, the first Lord of the Rings movie. Unbelievable surround soundtrack.
You got Bilbo coming from whatever his name is, coming from behind you. And you never want Bilbo coming from behind you. I'll tell you that right now, folks.
That said, just stop before you dig yourself any deeper. Listen to it if you can in the store before you buy it. You might be shocked with the quality of how good or how bad it is. And head over to thescreensavers.com and click on the show notes to see the ads we took a look at, along with our comments minus Leo's Freudian sloop.
Bildo and Fredo.
Let's check in with the fine folks over at Tech Live to see what's coming up tonight.
Bilbo.
Bilbo.
Well, it was good. It was a good save. Guys, listen to this. It's going to be a summer of blockbuster movies. Not including Bilbo anything. But X-Men 2 got things started over the weekend. But the real buzz is over Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah!
Yes, it's a biggie. Tonight on Tech Live, we're going to kick off our week-long look at the second installment of the Matrix trilogy. It's being called the most anticipated movie of the year, and with good reason. More Neo, more special effects, and pretty much more, well, everything. That and much more coming up right after, of course, the Screensavers, Bilbo. Till then, Bilbo, Chris Leary, back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris Leary. Yes, And that's what's coming up on Tech Live right after this show.
Don't you dare move. Windows is bound to crash, and only we have a solution to keep your PC alive and running. Just us. And after the break, where should your web server live? In front or behind your network's firewall?
Oh, that's interesting.
Stick around to find out. But first, get geekier with Jessica's new tip.
That's right, guys. I'm bumping it from the neck. Okay, Morgan and Megan are gone right now. So who's your favorite screensaver?
You!
Well, to help you make a decision, we put everybody's bio. Go to this link. It'll also be on our show notes. And decide for yourself. More to come on the screensavers.
Richard on the phone from Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Thank you for joining us, Richard.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Good. Very well. How are you, sir?
Not too bad.
Good.
A little wet up here. It's raining.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, I think we've seen maybe the last rain for, you know,
I got snowed on yesterday.
Did you?
Well, I thought it didn't rain in California.
It does. It rains. It doesn't rain in
time.
Southern California.
Yeah.
And God didn't make the little green apples. But that's all I know. No, actually, our rainy season's almost over. We're going to have a sun pretty soon. What are you laughing at?
I'm still back in the last segment.
Oh, yeah, me too. You don't want to go there. Trust me. What can we do for you, sir? Richard, what's your question of the day?
Basically, I'm building a Linux web server, and I want to know if I should put it on the outside of my router or on the inside of my router.
Actually, it's a trick question.
It is?
Well, do you have like a little hardware router, like a Linksys router or something?
And I have a D-Link.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the idea. You know, you spent like, you know, 80 or 100 bucks somewhere around there. It's got some ports in the back. It connects to your cable or your DSL modem.
Yeah, and it's also got the built-in internet firewall. And
what you want to look for, they have something called a DMZ usually in those.
It's a DI 704.
You're going to have to look this one up because I don't have all the model numbers.
Linksys calls them DMZ. Basically, the problem is if you hide your web server behind the router, nobody's going to be able to see it. That's what the router is doing, is kind of hiding what's back there, right?
Yeah, and you basically, there's kind of like 3 different states for a firewall in a lot of cases. There's the stuff on the inside, which is protected. There's the stuff on the outside. I can sit up. I can stand down. I can sit
cameras. Don't worry.
There's the stuff on the outside on the internet that's completely unprotected, and then a lot of times they'll let you set up a DMZ, a demilitarized zone, that allows servers, game servers, web servers, stuff like that
to be visible.
Yeah, and they isolates them from your home network, so all your home systems are safe and protected, but it still allows them to access the network outside. That would be the best place to locate the web server. It's all coming together now, folks.
The problem here, Richard, is that you have one IP address, and what the router does is that it shares.
No, actually, I have 3 IP addresses.
Oh, you do? Oh. Well, see, you could then put it outside. Here's what I would do. Actually, the DMZ is fine, but I think really if you have multiple IP addresses, the best thing would be to put that web server and not link it to, don't put anything else connected to it.
From your home network.
It's just standalone all by itself. If it's on the DMZ, then it's still networked together with the rest of your machines, and that still makes me a little nervous. If you're going to have a web server, you're basically inviting the world into your house.
Even though you would still want, even if you put it on a separate IP, would you still want it behind a web server behind a firewall on that IP?
No, well, you can't. Well, I mean, you
can open up the ports.
Yeah,
make it more
yeah, you could do that, but that's not going to save you. It's not going to help you because all the attacks are going to come through port 80 anyway.
Okay.
The key is really that server should be standalone. If you can, isolate it from the rest of your network.
Okay.
Because then.
Well, I do have an 8-port switch to go along with it.
Yeah. See, that's what.
Yeah. The 8 ports. It's once you connect any of the ports on that 8-port. Switch or hub, they're now connected to everything else on that network. That's kind of the nature of the beast. What Leo's saying is that you would separate the connection. I guess you put the 8-port hub in front of your firewall, have the firewall connected to one port, have the web server connected to another.
Precisely, split it.
Which in theory is what the DMZ is supposed to do to protect.
Yeah, the DMZ is a good idea, but you're still connected. You're still part of your internal network. That just makes me nervous. If you don't have anything connected in there.
Right. So you'll end up, in this case, with a cable or a DSL, Richard?
Cable.
Okay, so you'll end up the web server will be approachable.
Yeah, you're right. You could loop back in, so it's never completely isolated. But yeah, you have to keep it outside of your firewall, and yet you want as much protection as you can, so isolate. Okay?
Okay.
Hey, thank you, Richard. Now Nicole has a wind tip built specially for us.
Windows XP and ME have included a helpful new utility to keep your system functional at all times. It's called System Restore, so I'm here to show you how to modify it, because whatever they did obviously isn't good enough. First off, this utility automatically makes a restore point every 24 hours, and it saves your restore points for up to 90 days. What it saves is your actual system files, not your documents or any of your other settings, but if you lose your system files, you're pretty much in trouble. So we need to modify those settings, or we may want to modify those settings. We're going to do a registry edit. So go into Reg Edit. There's two commands you got to look at here, all right? The first one is RP Global Interval. What this does is it's going to tell you how often it will set a restore point. Now, it's in hexadecimal here, and if you can't read it, well, you've got some nerve calling yourself a geek. We're going to convert it to decimal, and we're going to see that it's going to set a restore point every 24 hours. Now, we can change that. That's actually how many seconds are in 24 hours, 86,400 seconds. Wow. So we're going to change that. We can set it to, you know, every 12 hours, every 2 hours. How often do you screw up your system? That's the question. You can also go into RP Life Interval. Now, that's explained in detail on the website, so you can just go ahead and cut over to the show notes to read those. Now we've got more information on the System Restore utility. Dan Fufu has written a beautiful article. Check it out. It's linked on thescreensavers.com. Hey guys, it's back to you.
Very geeky. Thank you very much.
Me.
That was Marvy. I like that. Stay tuned.
Marvy.
We got more, right?
Our final little wrap discussion session email viewer festival is coming up right after this quick. Stay tuned.
Make sure you catch tomorrow's episode. It's going to be fun. Learn to cast shadows over rough surfaces. Something you don't see a lot on Tech TV. Plus, get some cool... Oh, that'll be Bertman Roy. That's right. Plus, get some cool Matrix downloads. Are you as excited about the Matrix Reloaded as Patrick here is?
I don't know.
I think so.
I think so.
Well, you don't...
We'll
you're
find out
awfully
tomorrow.
excited. And access your TiVo from the web. I'm going to show you TiVo Web, a really neat hack. Allows me to do everything I would do with the TiVo interface directly, only on my network through a web browser. It's all tomorrow's television program.
I got a fast one here. How do I install a second hard drive when the software for installation only comes on a floppy and the new computer doesn't have a floppy drive? Well, John, if you have an internet connection, Western Digital and Mac Store and Seagate, they almost always have those utilities available to download